Hello everyone, my name is Moxie and today we are going to be watching a few Moxxie Entertainment scary animations. The reason I'm doing a reacting video, which I haven't done in a good minute, is because I'm sick. It was like every time I tried to play, because I was trying to play The Man from the Window 2 after I did the first one, and I got suddenly very motion sick from it, which was really weird, and I thought, okay, maybe my stomach's just hurting. So I came back, tried to do it again. It happened again, so I did it again. It just kept happening. So I came back the next day thinking I was just not feeling it that day. It happened again. So I'm really scared to play a game, but you know what? I still want to record because I got all cute, and I haven't posted in about 4 days. Tomorrow will be the 5th day is when this video is going to come out. I just wanted to give you guys a little explanation on why this isn't a gaming video, but hopefully I'm going to try to record again after this, like a gaming video. I'm not sure what game, but hopefully that works. Also, I have my pigtails. Do you like my pigtails? Let me take off my glasses so you can actually see me. Do I look cute? Do I look cute? You can see my man shoulders. Yeah, I have, whoa. I did my eye makeup, and I did all that. Okay, the first one we're reacting to is True Mansions Horror Story Animated. I'm nervous. Really? This is from Moxxie Entertainment. They will be tagged below because I don't know how to link things below, but they will be tagged below. You guys should go watch them. They're really good.
This is a story my grandmother told us that took place when I was 7 years old. To give you all a brief background, my grandma, during the late years of her career, worked for a prestigious family. She was in charge of the checks that every heir of that family must receive in a specific time frame.
Oh, okay.
And everything that has to do with these wealthy heirs. So my granny was well acquainted with everyone there. She worked in one of the many abodes of that family.
Also, randomly, I've never been in a mansion before, I went to my friend's house in San Antonio, Texas, and it was to meet her because she's my online friend. I walked into her house, and it was 2 stories for just 2 people. I was amazed. I was like, oh my god, this is my dream. Because I live in a small southern town, and that's not really common.
Family. We're talking about old money suites with all the old-fashioned furnace and expensive porcelain porches with a circular entrance around an old fountain.
That sounds nice, but I'd rather have a 2-story cozy place, not a mansion. Mansions scare me.
Corinthian walls and gargoyles is what we call today a Gothic mansion, a typical haunted house. The interior is dusty, since the family doesn't really visit there anymore. It's only being kept clean by the maids and the house caretaker.
Why not sell it if you're not even using it? I understand, it's probably an heirloom, the house is, old and stuff, but you don't even care about it. Give it to someone who will care about it, and you'll get millions for it, most likely.
My grandmother's office is located right at the entrance. Large wall windows from ceiling to floor covered by thick velvet curtains.
Ooh.
The view from the windows expands the whole gate entrance and the fountain, as well as the second entrance through the garden.
That sounds so
Granny
beautiful.
really has a 90-degree view of the whole place. Keep in mind that both of the only entrances to the mansion are guarded by security, and my granny...
They're that rich? What do they expect to happen if there's not a guard there?
You can see the people that are entering even before they knock on the door, since she keeps the curtains open always. After school, me and my cousin, 5 at the time, come to this place instead of going straight home, since the caretaker of the mansion was kind and let us play by the garden in the driveway. But this particular day, we stayed inside the mansion, and were just playing by the fireplace, just across from my grandma's desk. I remember I saw my grandma look through the windows and stand abruptly, telling us that someone's coming and we must behave. She exited the large doors and proceeded to greet the 2 women that had already passed the gate, which is weird because the guards should have alerted her about them already, and she would have heard the old squeaky gates being opened to let them into the premise.
This is so fancy. I'm sorry I'm not talking. I'm just what is about to happen? Because it says Mansion Horror Story, and I'm scared.
But she brushed it off, offered a smile to these two people, thinking they must be the new heirs that her boss told her to expect that week.
Ooh.
But as they were gradually approaching, my grandmother noticed that one of the...
Why is she so angry, and why is her nose just boop boop? Where is this? Where is that? Where is it?
The women was glaring at her with a scowl that sent shivers through her spine, while the other was smiling so sweetly at her.
That is not a sweet smile. That is not a sweet smile. That is terrifying. You need to punch them in the face.
Nonetheless, she greets them. Hello. But they didn't return the greeting, just stood there, halfway through the steps. It was only then that she saw what they were wearing. Now, this story took place on the years 2008
What is she biting her lip? What is going on?
2010-ish.
Ooh.
But the women were wearing long, black dresses with laces and high necks. My grandmother thought it was weird, but just told them to come inside so they can process the insurance of the checks in her office.
Maybe they're just emo.
She turned her back on them, pushed the heavy door inside again, leaving it open to let them through.
And happy Pride Month. I don't know why I just had to randomly tell you, but happy Pride Month.
Just briskly walked to her desk, past me and my cousin. She was expecting them to follow her in, but several minutes passed, and not one shadow of the guests entered the mansion. Grandma sighs, glanced out the windows, expecting to see the guests still standing outside.
I'm scared.
But to her shock, she saw no one there. I don't remember much from back then, but my grandma said that me and my cousin were staring through the open doors as if we were seeing somebody, and I pointed toward the door, saying, "Aren't you going to come inside?" My grandmother whipped her head to the window again, praying that maybe she just missed it the first time. Still, there were no women dressed in these weird clothes outside.
Where did they go?
She could see the gates from where she was standing, and to her horror, they were locked in deadbolt.
Wait.
These locks can only be opened with keys that the guards, the caretakers, and my grandmother had. My grandmother shakily walked toward the front door, where me and my cousin kept
there's 2 minutes left. What is about to happen?
staring still. But when she turns around, there was no one there as well.
Where did they go?
She looked at us confusedly, but me and my cousin are both in our own worlds again. My grandma frantically ran
I thought there was someone in my room.
outside to check that she wasn't going crazy, that what she saw couldn't be what she thought it was. When she reached the front gates, the guard stationed there asked her what was wrong. She immediately accused him. Why didn't he notify her when 2 guests arrived? The guard looked at her in confusion and told her no one had come the whole afternoon. The gate had been locked since the morning when she arrived.
Stop messing with me. That
She
old
paled,
lady is going
told him about the
crazy.
encounter, reasoning that maybe they entered through the second entrance around the garden. But the guard insisted that that's impossible, since the gate hasn't been used forever. It's been sealed shut. My grandmother, now lightheaded, called her other office mate to come to the office immediately because she felt sick to her stomach. She doesn't want to admit it yet. And when her office mate comes unbothered, carrying 2 large boxes, and sees how pale my grandmother was, she asked,
What's in the boxes? Is it the bodies of the 2 girls? Is it?
asks worriedly if she needs someone to drop us off at home because my grandma did not look good. My grandma told me she's fine, asked what was in the boxes. The office mate told her that it was some old albums that their boss gave them to dispose of in the old mansion, and some trinkets that are deemed useless to this wealthy family. They browsed the old albums together, me and my cousin included.
Oh, they're gonna be in it.
It was full of these black and white pictures dated early 1900s. But when we opened one of the albums, my grandmother shook violently, started muttering curses and prayers. When her coworker asked her, "What is wrong?" she told her the incident a while ago and said, "That's them." In one of the old pictures
Where is her nose?
dated
And why is she so
1912,
angry?
2 women arm in arm, one smiling, one frowning, dressed in exactly
She
those
looks
long
so-
black.
This low-key looks like me and my sister. I'm just all that, and then she's just all, you know.
dresses.
That was so cringy.
But what made my grandma absolutely lose it was when my cousin giggled beside me and pointed to the girls, saying, "They have feet here! They were missing them a while ago."
I have nothing to say. That scared me. I don't know why that jump scared me so bad. The next one is called True Camping Horror Story by Moxxie Entertainment. All of them are Moxxie Entertainment. I love them so much. Let's go ahead and
Hi, my name's Luke, and this is a story about what happened to me and my friends on a camping trip 3 years ago, when we were all between about 14 and 15. Since it was the beginning of summer vacation, my friend Lucy had this idea to go camping with her other friends, Katie and Maurice.
I don't like camping. Like, I'll be honest, I don't like camping. I don't know why. I guess it's so scary. I'm scared of the woods. I don't really like the food that we have to eat. I don't like not having a bed. I don't like not being able to charge my phone. I don't like not having my phone. I am a homebody. I'm a homebody. I just want to stay at home, relax, and stay on my phone all day. You know, I may be called boring, but I don't like it. I don't know, every summer my family are like, we should go camping, and I'm like, we shouldn't. No. No.
As I was quite the risk taker, I added to the idea, saying that we should start our trip in the woods at 1 a.m., just for a bit of fun. I told Lucy, what's the worst that could happen? Now I look back and think how bad it could have been.
Yeah.
Maurice and Katie organized the supplies, 2 small tents, some snacks, and other camping equipment from my garage, while Lucy and I went out into...
And also, I have always been obsessed with horror movies ever since my family made me watch Scream when I was like 6 to 8 years old. I've loved them ever since, and I know that you should not go into the creepy woods at night. So every single time I'm in the woods and I hear one sound, I'm like, oh my god, we're about to get murdered. Like, that... It's so scary. How do people enjoy that?
To the forest early to try to find a spot to set up. We'd been walking for a while when I suddenly heard this rustle in the bushes. I looked over at Lucy with a confused glare. What was that?
I gotta put my feet up. I'm scared.
That? Lucy asked me. I obviously had no clue, but being the cool guy that I thought I was, I peeked over the bush slowly. What I saw will haunt me for the rest of my life. I immediately shouted in horror, trying to cover my mouth while staring at what looked like a middle-aged man eating a dead deer. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but this man was no hunter. This deer corpse was basically rotting, as you could see its ribs sticking out, and he was gnawing at it like a dog. It was a gruesome sight. Suddenly, this man turns around, saw me and Lucy, and immediately ran away on all fours, leaving this deer carcass on the ground. Lucy immediately grabs me. We both run right back to meet Katie and Maurice, who were about halfway down our street with...
What? Why did he run like that? And where were his eyes?
The camping supplies. Katie asked why we looked so shocked, but it took us a few minutes to be able to actually get the words out. The sight had been so blood-curdling. For some reason, Katie and Maurice didn't believe us. They still wanted to go camping.
Could you just not walk her over there and show her the deer? Or them the deer? Like, what do you mean you don't believe them? There's 2 of them. Okay.
So, stupidly, we returned to the woods. We went at least to a different spot. Maurice and I began to set up this camp in this big, flat area with a lot of trees surrounding it.
If I saw a place like that, I would think people used to do literal, like, demon summonings right there. You know, like when cults, I actually don't know if it's cults or witches or, I'm not sure. I love witches, but like when they put the thing, like in the woods in the circle and they do all that and candles and they start dancing. I actually don't know who does that, but I would be scared they did that there.
Yeah. It seemed cool, isolated, as the trees blocked all the sunlight. Being teenagers, we thought it'd be fun. Everything was going well, actually. We each drank a couple of beers, even though we weren't allowed. Maurice had stolen them from his dad, so we were all absolutely wasted. After a while, we decided to head into our tents.
There's something in my eye.
Of course, I slept in the tent with my friend Maurice, and the 2 girls slept in the tent across from us. At around 3:15 a.m., I think, I awoke to this strange noise. I was about to awake Maurice when I suddenly remembered that creepy man from earlier.
Oh, he did have eyes.
I felt this chill shoot down my spine as I slowly unzipped the tent just enough to look through, but not enough for whoever was out there to notice. To my horror, I see this deer-eating man standing.
His nipples! Ew! He looks like the guy, Muscle Man from Red Killer Show. Look at... Ew!
outside my tent. To make matters worse, he was holding this small pocket.
Is that build? How do you even get this build? What is that? Is that build genetic? Is that genetic?
Knife. I unzipped the flap all the way, shouted loudly, and immediately punched him as hard as I could. Unfortunately, I was still wasted, and he managed to get a hold of me. He made this shallow cut right across my arm with that knife, but before he could do any more, fortunately, Maurice appeared and kicked him right in the crotch. The strange man let go of me, and I punched him multiple times.
Can we talk about how he just got out and he was like, huh! Like, did you think... Ow. Like, what did you think was gonna happen?
Times until I knocked him out. Katie and Lucy tried to call the police, but there was no signal out where we were, of course.
Of course there wasn't.
We grabbed our bags, leaving the tents and everything else behind, and just sprinted back to town. That night's mostly a blur at this point, but those are all the main points. Let's just say that if it wasn't for Maurice waking up right at that moment, me deciding to scream, you wouldn't be here.
Those were shallow cuts, but I mean, I understand, like, especially if somebody else is doing that to you, I would cry and I would scream. Because, like, I don't know, my biggest fear is being, like, hurt or death and murder. All of that. I'm so afraid of death. So afraid, especially because I'm 17 and I know I have not even had half of my life yet. Scared.
Hearing the story right now.
That's so scary. Oh my god. This is true childhood story and childhood horror story animated by Moxxie Entertainment. Let's watch it.
I used to live in my grandma's house in Ecuador. Many of the neighbors would talk to my parents about seeing weird stuff in the house, like shadows moving around the windows when we weren't home.
I don't like that.
The first thing that would come to our heads was that someone must have broken into the house. But nothing.
Oh, who texted me? I feel like if somebody said we saw shadows in your window, I would be like, oh no, we're about to die. There's a ghost. I don't know. I believe in ghosts. I don't know about y'all, but I believe in ghosts 100%. What did I just say? 100%.
Would ever be missing. Of course, they didn't think that there was someone breaking in. They were sure that our house was haunted.
Oh.
Everyone even refused to come inside for parties or any other special occasion. They told us to get a priest and to get rid of any bad spirits. We didn't take their warnings as something important because my parents don't believe in those kinds of things. Although I would hear someone going up the stairs at night. Our stairs were really old, so they would make a loud sound when some...
I hate creaky stairs. I hate creaky floorboards or stairs. It's so scary. It is so scary, especially when I'm trying to sneak into somebody's house and, like, trying to wake everybody up. With consent of somebody there, of course. I'm not trespassing. Again, I wouldn't want to get arrested for that again.
Someone would step on them. However, when I checked, there was nothing. I would just run to my bed and cover my head with the sheets until I fell asleep. One night, someone started knocking on the door really hard and screaming. We got really scared as it was 12:30 a.m. and everyone was asleep by then in our neighborhood. It was extremely rare that someone would be up at that time. My dad took his shotgun and told my mom and me to stay in my room and not move. I was scared for my dad's safety, but I felt relieved when my dad said my neighbor's name. He informed us that a water pipe had broke in our backyard and the water was spraying his house and broke one of his windows. He was nice about the situation and even said he'd help us fix the pipe.
That scared me. Oh, bro, that scared me so bad.
My dad got the shovels, as the pipes were underground, and we had to dig to see what was wrong and how we could fix it. As we started digging, they realized that they needed other materials, and they went to get it, leaving me alone in the backyard. There was barely any light back there. The only source of light we had was the moon, and one light post a block away from my house.
Where's your mom?
I was pissed off. I mean, how could they leave an 8-year-old boy there by himself in the dark?
Yeah.
But I didn't say anything about it. About 10 minutes had gone by since they left, and I was wondering what was taking them so long.
10 minutes?
They were only getting some materials after all. But as I was going to go back inside...
Turtle? He's not in here.
I saw something moving really fast at the corner of my eye.
Is that the Death Note guy?
froze.
Is that the guy from Death Note? I need to rewatch that show.
I wanted to run, but I couldn't. I wanted to scream, but I couldn't. All I could do was move my eyes. I started to freak out, looking around to see what the hell was running around me.
What is that?
I didn't see anything. It was as if there was nothing there at all. But then I looked to my right, and I saw something that haunts me to this very day.
Oh.
It was a demon, in my opinion. It was so tall, around 7 or 8 feet tall. It had long, skinny legs with a really buff body. It also had very long spiral horns, and his eyes shined in the dark. I still couldn't move. The thing ran by me, looked at me, but it didn't do anything to me.
It's kind of cute. It's kind of cute. He's just looking at him like, are you scared? Just patting his eyelashes. I kind of love him. He's so sweet. He could never hurt a fly.
Just looked at me. It could have been a goat or a sheep.
Scared me, though.
I've never seen one so big or one that walks on 2 legs like a human.
What is that?
It ran, and I hid behind a big tree by my neighbor's house.
Why are you scared of him?
Finally, I could move. I yelled at the top of my lungs while crying hysterically. My dad came running with his shotgun
Shut up, you little bitch!
in hand and asked me what was wrong. I explained what I saw to him, but
I mean, we know this story is fake, but that scared me. That did jump scare me.
he didn't believe me, nor did my mom. But someone did. My neighbor told me that he thought nothing happened to me because I'm a kid. As time passed, I slowly got over it. I moved from that house and moved to New York. My grandparents sold the house, and I left that experience in the past.
Oh.
However, that's not where this story ends.
What?
In my sophomore year in high school, I had a nightmare. The thing that I saw that night was...
I thought those were the guy's nipples from the other story. My God, I can't get those nipples out of my brain. Sorry, that was weird. Don't clip that.
was in it this time. I could only see its head as it was hiding behind the big tree. He said 3 words that'll haunt me until my time comes. It said, "You can't hide." I woke up from my nightmare and
What was that?
I woke up from my nightmare and headed to school. While in school, at around 12:30 p.m., there was an announcement. A classmate of mine had been killed in front of my school by a car without brakes. I turned pale as I thought my nightmare may have something to do with the incident. I was scared.
Wait, why would your nightmare have anything to do with the incident? I mean, yeah, you had a nightmare, but it said you can't hide, and it was basically the same thing that you actually went through. Why? I'm confused.
Even went home early. I told my parents about it, but this time they took me to a priest, and he said he'd give me something in 3 days. Every single day I had the same nightmare until my priest gave me a blessed cross, and I haven't had any nightmares about the thing anymore. However, every night I sleep with the covers over my head. Call me a coward or anything you want, but the thing still hasn't left my mind. Those 3 words haunt me till this day, making me wonder when I will forget or move on from the thing.
Wait, it just... Wait, no, go back to it. Go back to it, please. That scared me.
Ribeye.
What just happened?
From the thing.
That scared me. That was really good. That was really good. I love Wantsy Entertainment. Okay, that was the last one that we're gonna react to. I'm about to... do you like my shirt? It says, "I love my boyfriend because I love my boyfriend. He's so sweet. He's so sweet." Sometimes. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. If you are new, comment down below any video ideas or anything at all. I love you guys so much, and I hope you have the best day ever. Bye!